I'll have to stitch a couple of these together, but this is what happens when you let gasoline, especially the gasoline with the alcohol, sit inside your carburetor long enough. It will actually tear the internal parts apart. It's caustic. The alcohol is caustic. Now, there wasn't a lot inside the fuel system, but you can see the rust setting in there. We'll try to clean this float bowl up and make it work. But the other thing that it affects is it affects the needle, the rubber needle seat. And I'm not sure, but this guy here looks like somebody stripped out both the exhaust studs on this. So we'll see if we can file those down and maybe retap them. Originally this had, as you can see, it had a threaded, this engine style had a threaded muffler piece in there. It starts. We're trying to charge up the battery right now, see if it holds a charge. Otherwise, you had to end up buying a $50 or $60 battery for this small little unit. It's amazing because you can get the smaller batteries for $40, but you gotta spend $100 on a little one because they consider it a hobby battery, I guess, for like ATVs and UTVs and motorcycles and crap like that. But we got it to turn over. It turns over rough. You can hear it, but it fires off and it runs. So got this. Won't mention names. Text message says it was in decent shape, which it's not. I guess it's not bad. There's some concerns, obviously when the cover's missing from everything, and the muffler's missing from it, and you got that. We're gonna see if we'll pull the dipstick and we'll replace this O-ring here. Something is definitely weeping and leaking down there. It could be the bottom of the base gasket or something too, or something else could be leaking down there. I just can't see. I mean, it's leaking. If you look here, I don't know. Let me see if we can turn the light on. If you look here, it's leaking from the top down. So I mean, there's leaking going on all over on this baby. But we'll get it running. And we'll stitch this piece together. We'll put a new plug in it and fresh oil, and put the muffler back on there, clean the carburetor up, and then reattach all the goodies here. I think I got an air filter somewhere in the boxes. Something else I'll point out here, the filter's on backwards. We're gonna put a new filter on it anyway, but that's on backwards. We unstuck the carburetor. It was definitely clogged up. We're gonna get ready here to launch it. See why that exhaust muffler was just randomly willy-nilly hanging out. And I did point this out a little bit earlier, but I didn't notice that we had our lovely friend, the broken bolt there. So I hit it with the denter, the metal denter, and we're gonna try to drill it out and see if we can put some threads in there and get something to fit in there. But good gravy. Sorry, not trying to poke fun at the owner here, but there was an older gentleman here the other day, and he made a comment. He was a machinist, and he said he always liked when people said, "Oh, all it needs is a screw. You need to turn a screw, and it's like new." We'll get this drilled out though, hopefully, and be able to put some threads in it. It's fun. I don't know, an hour later or whatever. It's always fun when you're trying to go ahead and fix someone else's broken stuff. Nothing against you. I appreciate the business and stuff, I guess, and the money, and I just wish it was a little bit easier on the body. Should have been a lawyer. Anyways, I tapped these holes out as best as I could. This one threaded sideways. The bad thing is you got to really be careful on this one because you had the exhaust valve right behind it. So that's why the muffler was off. But hopefully we'll get this thing to stick good. Maybe I'll epoxy the muffler in there. I don't know. It'll be someone else's problem. But all right. Happy Saturday again. So we have finally assembled something that looks like a lawnmower. I spent the better part of the day fiddling with this thing. Had to make a run over to Home Depot to go ahead and try to fabricate something here. This is why this project probably got put on the side burner besides whatever else was going on in personal lives. But as you'll see in the prior videos and stuff, you'll see some interesting situations with the muff can here, or muffler. It went on there, we'll just say. It's the battery's still up in the air. I don't know if that'll actually hold a charge. The stator or alternator or regulator, whatever you want to call it in here, is running at about 14.5 volts, maybe even 15, which seems a little high, but hopefully we don't ever have to take this thing apart again, because taking this cover off here is a real pain in the biscuit. That being said, you know, he tried to jam, the gentleman that was working on this prior tried to jam this bolt, which is the correct bolt for the muff can, but is not the correct bolt for the hole that's in that head. That head is a much smaller, has a much smaller, like M6 or somewhere there and about diameter hole. So we changed the oil on this already. Put a new fuel filter on there. We are waiting for Scamazon delivery for an air filter, and we're going to send this on its way. Spark plug looks fine, it runs. I'm not changing the spark plug. But there are a couple extra bolts that I am not sure where they came from, and since I didn't disassemble this, I couldn't tell you. They looked like they came from the back, but we've tightened up what we can, and you know, the muff can, and put some red Loctite on those bolts as well. So I had to do a little fabricating there, cutting as well, to get that muff can to fit in there, and grind out the surface of the head a little bit to make it seat a little bit better. But starts up, runs, still loud as heck for a little 10 horsepower guy. Doesn't matter. Probably would have been better off screwing a piece of pipe in there. And like I said, the only thing that's up in the air right now is the battery, whether or not it'll hold a charge. And hopefully tomorrow morning when I come out here, the red light will be blinking.